This is another short story, and it's called The Trash Can Lid Conspiracy. September the 8th, 1973. A lonely field somewhere in the Midwest of the United States. While out in pursuit of the elusive Kirkland's warbler, keen bird watcher Reginald Varson had an unexpected encounter that would forever change his life. Up until the point he saw the flying saucer, Reginald had never believed in the ridiculous notion of UFOs and little green men. However, with the evidence hovering silently over the long grass, he could not well deny what was so obviously before him. Others, he realised, would not be so accepting. But fortunately, on that day, Reginald had the foresight to pack with him a camera. Coming to his senses, he managed to capture 3 shots before the mysterious craft departed with a whoosh that knocked him clean off his feet. And with a knock that clean off his feet, it was gone in an instant. Were it not for the camera grasped tightly in his hands, he might have dismissed the whole occurrence as a fevered hallucination, and like an excited child, made his way home, clutching it close as if in possession of some long-lost treasure. He alone knew the truth. And as the image revealed itself in his darkroom, Reginald knew it was his duty to share it with the world. Still, looking at it under the glow of that red light, there was something oddly familiar about it, as if he had seen it someplace else before. Naturally, its release caused a sensation across the nation. The beautifully crisp photo was heralded as the clearest image of a flying saucer ever captured, and proof undeniable of the existence of extraterrestrial life. Reginald found himself thrust into the limelight, and within a week he was invited to appear on a television debate, and so eagerly went along. However, the night did not go as expected, as the host turned on Reginald, debunking his photo as a hoax. He of course defended his position, but the evidence soon mounted against him. It was highlighted. The shape of the flying saucer was very similar in design of that to a common trash can lid. Furthermore, one was produced which they also claimed came from his very home. It was useless to defend himself, and overnight he became a laughingstock. Reginald found himself alone with a truth no one would believe, but was determined to set about reclaiming his reputation. This was not something he ever expected when setting out to look for the Kirkland's warbler, a day that now seemed a lifetime away. For weeks he staked out the field where he had first seen the flying saucer, but came to realise that even if it were to appear again, no one would ever believe him. He needed tangible evidence that could not be denied. He began to investigate, and over time found there had been thousands of similar cases. Many were obviously fake, but on rare occasions, some seemed all too familiar. The photo may not have been as clear, but appeared convincing, and also, like his own, met with initial acceptance before being swiftly debunked. In pretty much every case, the said flying saucer was proved to be a simple trash can lid, and Reginald could have kicked himself for missing something so obvious. He had questioned it at the time, how it could possibly have looked the same, but had never thought to look further. As the cases mounted up, the once keen birdwatcher came to a startling conclusion. He, and all the others who came before, had unwittingly been used in an elaborate plan to cover up the truth. The trash can lid looked the same because it had been made to look like the flying saucer. That way, whenever someone happened to capture an image of one, it could easily be dismissed. To this end, though some would come to know the truth, the public would never believe it. His friends certainly didn't, those few he had left. All they would say was that he needed help. But Reginald could only go deeper into the conspiracy. He was certain the answer could only be found in the trash can lid, and the company who made them. On the surface, Interglock appeared to be like any other business. They were a manufacturing firm who supplied household essentials to the nation. They had a plant in nearly every state and also shipped products throughout the world. Strangely, the more he looked, the less he found. The owners remained elusive, and though their names were listed in the directories, not one image could be found. It was as if they didn't really exist. And as the company had sprung up out of nowhere just over 25 years before, Reginald could only assume it was a front used to propagate a silent invasion. He had to gain access if there was a hope of stopping them. Security was high, but the consequences did not bear thinking of. He took it upon himself to protect the world that was blind to the danger. He would make them understand, even if it cost him his life. On October 12, 1974, the headquarters of Interglot Corporation were severely damaged by fire. The cause of the incident was later listed as unknown. However, the authorities were eager to question a strange man who had been seen around the area in the weeks before. It is not known what happened to Reginald Varson after he entered the Interglot complex. Much of what is presented here comes from his extensive journals that were discovered after, ending the night he disappeared. Some believed he had died in his attempt to learn the truth, or even remained captive of those he sought to expose. However, as they were still searching for him, it is possible he escaped and lives to this day. With no proof, nothing can be known for certain, but with sightings of pie dishes, hubcaps and trash can lids increasing year on year, it is clear the conspiracy endures. Thank you.